Okay, guys, big news. ASL is, as of the recording of this video, it's going to be going live in about 15 minutes for the Korean broadcast, which means the English broadcast will be out 48 hours as of this recording. So right now it is Monday night in Korea. The first day of ASL for the Tastosis cast is going to be out Wednesday night. Or Wednesday afternoon, most likely at Korea time. So I have a cat jumping. Cousins move, man. Thank you. So yeah, I'm super excited to get back to casting. It's been a bit of a slow year for me. And a bit of a slow year for StarCraft. Normally we have ASL starting a little bit earlier, but there's been delays. We still don't know the schedule for StarCraft 2. If you didn't get the memo in the last video, maybe you missed that video, we went from SSL back to ASL, and honestly, thank God. I thought it caused a lot of confusion. Just rebranding it like that, you can't expect everybody to be up to date on what, now Soup, or formerly Africa TV, is doing with their branding. So this is great. Can't believe we've had 19 seasons of this, by the way. So we finally have the groups out. They put the groups up the day before. I've been really interested to see, who's going to be fighting who. We had a very interesting season. The Final Four was one I think you wouldn't have necessarily predicted, just based off the way that the round of 8 looked. It was a lot of surprising results. We do have Sulky, Sharp, Rain, and Snow all seeded in the round of 16. So you're not going to see me talk about these guys, really. Just know that they are in the tournament. Every time we get to the top 4 in a season, they are auto-seeded into the next season. I had some people come by my Twitch stream earlier and say, I didn't see Sulky playing, I didn't see Snow. No, they don't have to. So we're going to go to the groups now. I do want to point out Flash is also not competing in this season. He's apparently having a metal plate removed from his wrist, so he's going to be in recovery mode. Kind of a bummer. I was really looking forward to seeing maybe like a Flash Sulky match. We're basically getting to the point where Sulky is kind of entering Bonjour territory. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be very cool to finally have Flash back, I assume, in ASL Season 20. So, for the groups. Group A, which I think this might be one of the weaker groups. Mini, Shuttle, Calm, and Scan. Now, obviously, Mini's one of the greatest Protoss players of all time. I think he easily gets out of this group. Shuttle, he was really on top in the very, very early days of ASL, and one of the best players, I think, in kind of the dark ages of StarCraft 1, where StarCraft 2 had been around for a long time, and there wasn't anywhere near as much of a big scene. I just find it hard to imagine Shuttle getting deep in a tournament right now. He still looks good, he just doesn't look as good as the best Protoss players. Calm and Scan here. I'm a big fan of Scan. I'm actually friendly with him in real life. Great dude. I think he's probably more likely to advance here than Calm, but it's going to be hard to say. I do feel like with Shuttle, Calm, and Scan, this is going to be a bit of a toss-up. But Mini, 100% going to get out of this group. And then we go to Group B. So this is going to be a very Terran-heavy group. Rush, Royal, Speed, and Hyun. Now, I would imagine Rush and Royal advance here. Rush has been kind of the dominant force in Terran in the modern era. I think in some ways he's been overshadowing Light quite a bit. And then Royal is just such a strong player with such a different, distinct style. But I think Speed's got a chance. I've been watching some of his streams and some of his matches that happened late in the evening here on Soup in Korea, of course. And I've really enjoyed seeing his play, but I think, especially with his performance last season, it's hard to imagine him advancing. Hyun is always quietly a real threat. So there could be an upset here, but if you're just going to go off the past couple of seasons of ASL, Rush and Royal, it seems like a pretty easy shoo-in, a pretty straightforward group. Over into Group C, we've got Best, Mind, Barracks, and Alone. Excuse me. So, when it comes to Best, he's kind of been this odd character in the ASL because we really thought he was going to win not one, but several ASLs by now, and it's just not happening. I watch his stream all the time, like as a student of Protoss, and I gotta say, I'm always blown away by how good he looks, but he seems to, in these kind of formats, perform poorly. Now, I think he should get out of this group, but I'm really waiting for a kind of tournament-style Best to come in. Best seems like he's strong on any given day and can take games, but there is a strategy in trying to navigate through these groups and go through these big tournaments. You know, the reason why these tournaments are so epic is that you have to move through a series of really good players where the games are so watched and so studied and so broken down that you have to almost ration out your best strategies, your best build orders, or be able to really reinvent your playstyle at times through the tournament. And I feel like that's been maybe an issue for Best here. Best on any given day can take out pretty much anybody in a series. The question is, can he navigate through an entire tournament and get far? Like I said, I think he should advance here. I think he's definitely a threat. But I really am watching and kind of waiting to see if we're going to have a breakout tournament Best that can deliver the results that I think a lot of us thought we would be seeing for some time now. Mind has looked really good lately, by the way. It's been really exciting for Artosis and me to see Mind back here. Players from like that era, like the 2007 era, coming back in. That was a really special period. Even though I would say right now is maybe the best time ever for StarCraft 1, with just how big it is, how streamed it is. It's been exciting to see him back here. And I think when it comes to Barracks and Alone, these are great players, but it's going to be tough for them. But we could have some upsets here. I think Barracks could be a guy who could pull through. We'll see how Alone does here. I don't have a ton to say about this player, but definitely cool to have Best and Mind here. Moving on into Group D. Light, Bisu, Killer, and Tyson. Now, Light and Bisu, I don't know. I mean, I feel like with some of these groups, I look at it, and it feels like there's an obvious favorite, or two obvious favorites, excuse me, and then two obvious underdogs. But Bisu and Light have looked great. Bisu's been very consistent in, I feel like, through almost the entirety of ASL. He has not managed to be the Bisu of like 2008, 2000, maybe 2006 even. When did Bisu come out in top? I think it was around like 2006. He really started killing everybody and really reshaped PvZ, maybe a little bit before that. But Bisu should be able to get out of this group. He has had some flubs. He does seem to get in a lot more trouble in PvPs at times. PvT though, PvZ, it seems like he can kind of hang with anybody. Light, I think, probably the clear favorite here. Although, interestingly, as Flash took a back seat and was not competing, both Artosis and I had this assumption that he would kind of come forward as the obvious best Terran right behind Flash, and I think it's been much more up in the air. I think Rush has really surprised everybody, and we had some great games here from Royal. As far as Killer and Tyson goes, I mean, they're underdogs. They can definitely both take games off these guys, and you got to remember that, you know, the round of 24 is, it can be brutal. You can make one or two missteps and just get flushed out of the tournament because there are best of ones, which, by the way, I don't like that, and I don't know if sometimes formats like this are ideal for, you know, tournaments like this, but they seem to, especially in RTS games, to be very committed to this kind of group format where you don't end up just getting paired with a, you know, a Sulky or a Flash in round one, and we don't have any idea how good or bad you are. So let's see what Killer and Tyson can do here. I'm always trying to remind myself that just because players have been so dominant in the past in an era, or they've been great in the last couple seasons of ASL, necessarily means that it's going to be the same player coming in here. I think we all learned that a lot with Queen, where we had such high expectations for a little while with Queen when he was rivaling Flash. Queen, also known as Zero, who's in Group E over here, but had kind of underperformed. So Group E, this is an exciting one. I might be looking forward to this one the most here. This is Queen or Zero, Jadong, Stork, and then S-Key. Now, S-Key, this guy, if you just watch like the top tier games, this guy is completely off the radar. Obviously, the fact that he got here is huge, And the question is going to be, just like with any player on, day one of a major Star League, is will you let the pressure get to you and choke? Will you have shaky hands? Will you feel nauseous? Will you get nervous? Or are you able to take that pressure and turn that into the play that you were able to do at home? Because it really is its own skill set to be on a stage in front of an audience with a camera like right in your face, right off where you're looking into the screen, hearing the stadium groan or cheer as the games are going on. That can be really overwhelming. And the best pro gamers really are cool as a cucumber under those circumstances. Only a few players at the really high level do kind of still get nervous. So I want to see how he performs. But with Jaedong and Stork here, again, two guys from that kind of 2008 era. Jaedong, we've all been sort of rooting for him to do really well and to, get super deep. And he's had some great games. He's really stuck with that aggro, cutthroat style. But I do feel like in the era we're in now, in 2025, people are so much better at defending that sometimes his play style falls flat on its face. Excuse me. For Stork, I grew up watching Stork's replays. I'm a huge fan of this guy. I don't know how well he's going to be playing here. He appears to be a player that can always get into ASL, but does not seem to have the kind of delivery or even modernized play necessarily to go super deep. He's very good at what he's doing. He still at times has super smart build orders that massively influence how people play the game. He's had these crazy games with carriers. I don't know if we're going to have any carrier play here, but I feel like he's done more variations of carrier builds than any other Protoss player that we've had in ASL. But, beyond nostalgia, I don't know how well Stork's going to do here. And then obviously Zero, I think, he's always in good shape. You kind of expect this guy to move on from a group like this. Otherwise, it would just be a crazy upset. And then finally, we have for Group F, we have Hero, Action, Sock, and Huro. And I'm really interested in any possible upsets here, because I think this is going to be one where Hero and Action have to get out. Sock has looked really good. But Hero and Action are basically like two of the scariest modern Zergs there are. Obviously, Sulky's on a whole other level, and I look forward to getting to the round of 16 and kind of seeing what those guys have to offer. But I think that's going to be an easy advancement there with Zergs. This is going to be a great season. I'm so glad to be back in the action. Quick update here on the maps. Where are the maps, actually? Okay. I think that this might be one of the best seasons for maps in ASL history. All of these maps, some of them you're probably very familiar with, like Dominator or Eclipse or Radeon. Others might be a little bit more new to you, like Polestar, Death Valley. But what I like about these maps is they were experimental without kind of losing the plot. We had previous seasons where, and it does seem like it's a characteristic with map makers, where some guys make maps that are, they have a ton of wild ideas, but then it's, the pros are still trying to map the game out, and I think it's games where fans can't quite learn as much about the game. Where I think if you just make a couple novel twists on a map, you can have really good games and high-level play, and then new players can still learn from these games. Like, all the maps that we have here, you're going to be seeing games that if you wanted to learn the game, and we have a lot of new people coming to StarCraft 1 and picking it up, a lot of young people. I'll see on the train or in the PC Cafe, a lot of really young people playing the game now. It's good to have a map that a top player can invent a crazy strategy on, but a new player can kind of try to copy that and build it into their own play. So I'm excited. If you're going to come down here in Korea, and look, they sometimes change the schedule, and remember that there's always a break from the round of 24, a week off before the round of 16. If you're going to come to Korea, the broadcasted nights, because again, it's a different schedule than what you're going to watch when you're seeing the English cast come out. We're always 2 days later. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. But as you get deeper into the tournament, like round of 16, round of 8, and everything going forward, it's just 2 days a week. So it's Monday and Tuesday. We will see which it will either be in the Jamshil studio or the I didn't actually think about this until I started this recording. Actually, it's either in Jamshil or Samsung. Those two stations are right by each other. When day one comes out, I'll mention which studio it is when we see where they're recording it. I basically go full on in the dark when the season starts, so I don't get anything spoiled, so my casting doesn't get contaminated with spoilers or any leaks or anything like that. So, yeah, if you're gonna go down to the studio, it goes live at 7. I would recommend getting there 30 minutes to an hour early. Sometimes people have a hard time finding those studios. Thank you for the raid, by the way. I didn't notice that earlier. Appreciate that. Welcome. And you will have to buy tickets. They will help you buy tickets with your phone. The very early days of the tournament don't fill up. I have not heard of stories where people can't get in. But when you're getting to like the round of 4 or the round of, or the finals, sometimes a round of 8, you want to make sure you buy your tickets in advance if you can. Because there's no way I can get you in. So, if you're going to travel out here, there's always 2 seasons of ASL every year. We have one here, and then we have one like around Q3 of the year. So, yeah, you'll get to see some live StarCraft there. Thank you guys for watching this. I appreciate it. If you want to support Artosis and me, go to the Patreon for ASL. That's how we make a living doing this now. Patreon.com/ASL English. We would not be able to do it without you guys. And, yeah. Finally back to casting, man. Super excited to be doing some more StarCraft 1. I think ASL is going to be going on for years and years. This is a hugely watched show here in Korea. The numbers for English viewers are also very good, so I don't see any reason why it's going to be going away anytime soon. So thank you. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you're looking forward to this season, and I hope to see you in a future video. Bye-bye.